readers. My name is Dawn Hughes, and I'm the new Booktrib Book Club Coordinator. We're here today with multi-award-winning author Luke Bennecke to talk about his latest page-turner, Echo from a Bayou, sorry. In it, a man wakes from a coma to discover memories from his past life that put him on a dangerous journey to find treasure, save his former wife, and confront his killer. Murder, treasure, a supernatural twist. Wow, that's exciting stuff, right?
Right.
We sure are excited to have this jam-packed thriller as part of Booktrib's book club program for June. That's such a tongue twister.
It is, yeah.
Thanks for taking a few minutes out of your schedule, Luke, for a bit of a rapid-fire Q&A, as rapid-fire as we get over here.
Sure. Happy to be here, Don. Thank you. Fire away. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so I told you a little bit about the book, but I'd love for you to share something about the book that we wouldn't read on the jack cover. No spoilers, obviously.
Yeah. Well, my favorite types of books are books that have twists at the end. I love a good thrilling book. You're putting you're investing a lot into it, and your character arcs and everything's there, but you don't know what's going to happen at the end, and then the author slaps you and you're like, whoa, you think you know what's going to happen at the end, and there's a nice twist. And ideally, my favorite books have maybe a double twist. So I like to write books that I would like to read. So there's that. No spoilers.
No spoilers, but much to look forward to, apparently. That's excellent. Did you have to do a lot of research for this book? And if so, what was the most fascinating or interesting thing that you learned?
Well, the onus for this book, I saw a video a long time ago, and it's about these kids who are all under the age of 6, and they have memories from past lives. I don't know if there's any religious implications or philosophical or spiritual. I don't have all the answers. No, nobody does. But I thought that was interesting. And so I thought, what if we all have that when we're young, and then those memories kind of get locked away and we live our lives? But what if you hit your head and those memories were unlocked and weird things could happen? I thought that would be an interesting premise for a book. So this is a phenomenon that's going on out there. And I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, got a couple of books written by medical doctors about this phenomenon. They're attacking it from a scientific approach. Like, what is going on? Why do these kids wake up with night terrors and have full traumatic physical responses with the dilated eyes and all? And as a parent, to go through this, you only want to do what you can to help your child through this traumatic experience. Why is this happening? I don't know. It's a phenomenon. So reading about that and kind of doing the research on that was fascinating to me and quite surprising. So hopefully I was able to kind of weave that surprise into the book a little bit.
That actually really resonates with me. My nephew gets night terrors. He's 11 and he gets really serious night terrors. And as a kid, I used to sleepwalk, but it's not something that I dealt with in terms of night terrors per se. But right. You're right. I hear about it more and more now that kids are getting these night terrors. Interesting.
Yep.
Huh, that is
fascinating. You can look it up go to Google, night terrors, children, past lives. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there. So fascinating.
That is fascinating. I can see why you would why that would have sparked this book for sure.
Yep.
Aside from a compelling read, which I have no doubt that it is, Mr. Multi-award-winning author, what is there a message that you hope readers take away from this?
Yeah, great question. Several, but I think one of the more high-level ones is autism awareness. My daughter is on the spectrum, and this is relatively new for us. And I read several books about autism and behavioral traits of children who are on the spectrum and are autistic. And there's a part of the book, there's a kind of a thread throughout this story where my character needed to kind of have autistic features and characteristics and behaviors. And if you read the book, you'll understand why. But I think if you go through and you read the book page, cover to cover, you'll have a takeaway about what autism is and what the spectrum is and what neurotypical people like us, how we differ from people on the spectrum. and maybe a greater understanding for people who have that condition, I guess is what it would called. But yeah, so not only is this, thrilling and stuff, but there's kind of a higher message to the book, which is autism awareness.
Such an important thing too, because along with night terrors, you see, I don't know if it's just for creating more awareness or what's happening, but you hear about autism and being on the spectrum quite a bit, which is, it's good to have that awareness for sure. So
Yep. And a lot of it is screen time. They're finding out now, just as a side note. Children, as young as 1, 2, 3, if they get too much screen time, it does something with the brain, and it increases their chances of getting on the spectrum. I don't know why, I'm not a medical expert, but
yeah,
but it's a thing. And so with all these screens and apps and phones and iPads and things like that, we're all on the screen more, and a lot of parents, I think it's a mistake to put the child in front of the screen too much. There's a healthy amount. Too much, that's probably some kind of a contributing factor from what I've read in doing the research on this book. But anyway, yeah, autism awareness for sure.
fascinating. Thank you for that. This is not your first book. You've obviously written a few since you're multi-award-winning author, and keep harping on that. But we all are inspired by someone, no matter where we're at in our career. So who would you say is the author that has been your greatest inspiration, and why?
Originally, it's been Stephen King for a long time, but as he's kind of sunsetting and not writing as much, I've been attracted to a relatively new up-and-coming author, a guy named J.D. Barker.
I love J.D. Barker. Sorry.
He not only are his stories, tightly wound and excellent, just the plots and the twists and everything, and almost, did you write this? Are you say? I mean, this is very well written, but he's a nice guy. He's a businessman. He understands the publishing industry.
Yeah.
And he's very helpful and willing to share information with other authors on what's working, what's not. And I've taken a few classes with him. I've been on a panel with him. He's the real deal. And he's on the spectrum too. So I was in a quick story. I was in a conference with him, and there was everybody around. It was kind of a social gathering. It was very loud. And I could just tell, he had to be there. I think his publicist was like, you need to be here. But I could just tell that was driving him nuts. And people who are autistic, loud noises is very, very annoying for them. More, I mean, and it's annoying enough for most people, but times 10. But I just saw how brave he was, like tolerating that, because he needed to do that. He's an author, and this is his what he was doing at the time. But anyway, just an all-around nice guy and helpful, good businessman. So yeah, whenever he comes out with a new book, that's one of the, I'm at the front of the line and hoping to get my copy, and I'm always looking forward to reading his next novel.
The first novel I read of his was The Fourth Monkey, and it blew my mind.
Yes.
And then obviously I've met him several times and interviewed him a few times and had many discussions with him, but just his story, his journey to success is so fascinating. And then his writing is just powerful. So absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a great person to be an inspiration. So, and once you're
definitely
finished,
inspirational. Yep.
Yeah. And once, readers are finished reading your book, which of course they're going to do, we should encourage them to read JD's book next.
I hope so. Yes. Right in there. Go have a good time.
Hopefully not the same response. But what's the best book you've read in the last year?
Good question. The House Across the Lake. Riley, I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name. Sager. Man, again, I like I said at the beginning, I really like plot twists, and I didn't see that coming at all. So I got slammed at the end in a very good way. And the last 80 pages or whatever, it's late. I read at night. It's late, but I need to finish this book. I couldn't put it down.
I would agree. That's one of his, I've read all of his books. Final Girl was such a fabulous novel if you haven't read that one. But you're right, that one, he's good at twists, but that one had a twist that was so top secret that we didn't even know how to talk about it in the press information, because it was just one of those things where
At that level, yeah, yeah.
too many spoilers. So yeah, good. Well,
So,
given people a lot to think about today.
yeah,
Obviously, clearly, you and I could talk about thrillers all day long, but I do
all day
need,
long, love it, love it, yeah.
but I do need to wrap this up. So I just
Okay.
want to thank you again for taking time to talk with
Thank
us.
you. Yeah, you bet.
And for more information about Echo from a Bayou or Luke, please check out the book club page on the booktrib.com website. Thank you.
Yes, okay, thanks, Don. Have a great day.
You too.